morning. It's Friday! Aren't we excited? It is Friday, August 21st, and here are our three readings for the day. The first one comes from Psalms 124. The Old Testament is Genesis 49:29 all the way through chapter 50, verse 14. And the third one, which is our New Testament reading, is 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 12 through 18. Now hear these words. If God hadn't been for us all together now, Israel, sing out. If God hadn't been for us when everyone went against us, we would have been swallowed alive by their violent anger, swept away by the flood of rage, drowned in the torment. We would have lost our lives in the wild, raging water. Oh, blessed be God. He didn't go off and leave us. He didn't abandon us defensively, helpless as a rabbit in a pack of snarling dogs. We've flown free from their fangs, free of their traps, free as a bird. Their grip is broken. We're free as a bird in flight. God's strong name is our help, the same God who made heaven and earth. Our Old Testament reading today is Genesis 49:29 through 50:15. Then he instructed them, I am about to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave in which is the field of the Ephron the Hittite, the cave in the field of Machpelah, facing Mamre in the land of Canaan, the field Abraham had brought from Ephron the Hittite for a burial plot. Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried there. Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried there. I also buried Leah there. The field and the cave were brought from the Hittites. Jacob finished instructing his sons, pulled his feet in the bed, breathed his last, and was gathered to his people. Joseph threw himself on his father, wept over him, and kissed him. Joseph then instructed the physicians to employ to embalm his father. The physicians embalmed Israel. The embalming took 40 days, the period required for embalming. There was public mourning by the Egyptians for 70 days. When the period of mourning was completed, Joseph petitioned Pharaoh's court, if you have reason to think kindly of me, present Pharaoh with my request. My father made me swear, saying, I am ready to die. Bury me in the grave plot that I have prepared for myself in the land of Canaan. Please give me leave to go up and bury my father. Then I'll come back. Pharaoh said, Certainly. Go and bury your father as he made you promise under oath. So Joseph left and buried his father. And all the high-ranking officials from Pharaoh's court went with them. All the dignitaries of Egypt, joining Joseph's family, his brothers and his father's family. The children and the flock and herds were left in Goshen. Chariots and the horsemen accompanied them. It was a huge funeral procession. Arriving at the Atad threshing floor just across the Jordan River, they stopped for a period of mourning, letting their grief out in loud and lengthy lament. For 7 days, Joseph engaged in these funeral rites for his father. When the Canaanites who lived in the area saw the grief being poured out on the aerial threshing hold, they said, Look how deeply the Egyptians are mourning. This is how the site at the Jordan got the name Abel Mizraim, Egyptian lament. Jacob's sons continued to carry out his instructions to the letter. They took him to the Canaan and buried him in the cave in the field of Machpelah facing Mamre, the field that Abraham had bought as a burial plot from Ephron the Hittite. After burying his father, Joseph went back to Egypt. All his brothers who had come with him to bury his father returned with him. After the funeral, Joseph's brothers talked among themselves. What if Joseph is carrying a grudge and decides to pay us back for all the wrong that we did to him? Our New Testament reading is from 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 12 through 18. We're not understand putting ourselves in a league with those who boast that they are our superiors. We wouldn't dare do that. But in all this comparing and grading and competing, they quite miss the point. We aren't making ourselves outrageous claims here. We're sticking to the limits of what God has set for us. But there can be no question that those limits reach to and include you. We're not moving into someone else's territory. We were already there with you, weren't we? We were the first ones to get there with the message of Christ, right? So how can there be any questions of overstepping our bounds by writing or visiting you? We're not barging in on the rightful work of others, interfering with their ministries, demanding a place in the sun with them. What we're hoping for is that as your lives grow in faith, you'll play a part within our expanding work. And we'll all still with you with the limits God sets as we proclaim the message in the countries beyond Corinth. But we have no intention of moving in on what others have done and taking credit for it. If you want to claim credit, claim it for God. What you say about yourself means nothing in God's work. And what God says about you, that makes the difference. And here ends our readings for the day.